Hey, it's Amy and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about why I purchased this road bike, not just because all my friends have a bike and I'm super jealous of theirs, but why it's such a great cross trainer for runners. If you haven't already, click the subscribe button and the bell icon so you get notified every time I upload a new video. So let's talk about cycling and cross training for runners. So why did I decide to purchase a bike in the first place? I have a commuter bike or hybrid bike that I love going from place to place, but just the thought of doing road cycling was just always something that really intrigued me. But last year, I guess it just didn't, I don't know, there was no bikes, or I just decided to focus just on running. An opportunity came up to purchase one as a friend was selling one of her bikes, and it just seemed like the perfect time. And as I think bikes are pretty hard to get right now because it seems like everyone's buying one because there's nothing else to do other than run or go for a ride on a bike because gyms are closed and everything. So it was just perfect timing. One of the reasons I got it is because I really like the idea of having the indoor trainer so I can still maintain and build my aerobic base during the winter, especially if it's like too bad to run outside. And again, we don't have a treadmill here, so I thought it would just be perfect just to have that kind of option. As well, the appeal of a new Spart was just really what I needed, especially in the peak weeks. I just was getting a little tired of running. I mean, I love running, but I don't know, having the new sport or new toy to work with or play with was just really exciting. And I just am I can't wait to go in the summer and just go for these longer runs and just having this awesome bike. I'm very excited. As well, it really appealed to me that you can go for a bike ride and it's such a low impact sport or form of training. Especially as I do a lot of kilometers running, it's just nice to have something that I can do that doesn't have the impact that running has. When you run, you put around 3 times your body weight on your legs, which is a lot if you think about it. It's also really fun as a lot of my friends also have a road bike, and just the thought of going out for rides with them when we're allowed to, of course, but it just seemed like a really fun thing to do. And lastly, the thought that it would help me become a better runner, stronger, and I'm gonna talk about that later in the video. I just really wanted to bike and experience for myself all the benefits that it can give me as a runner and just an athlete in general. There was a steep learning curve as I knew nothing about bikes and I didn't know how to clip in, and I'm still very bad at it. And I just didn't know anything about shoes. There was just like a lot to learn. So I've been having fun watching a lot of videos, not gonna lie. And yes, I definitely fell over once when I was clipped in. I feel like that's just a rite of passage that every person has to go through when they are starting to get clipped in or have a road bike, but I survived and I learned from it, and hopefully it doesn't happen again. Why is cycling a good cross-training for runners? First off, cross-training is when you use an alternative sport or activity to train and improve your performance in a particular sport. Cycling helps your running as it improves your stamina, your endurance, and develops your fitness without putting any extra stress on your legs and body. It's a great low-impact cardiovascular activity. And when you add it to your weekly training regime, it can have all these benefits, again, without putting a lot of stress on your body. Cycling uses sets of muscles such as your quads, your glutes, and your core. These muscles are complementary to the muscles that you use when you run. So again, cycling helps those complementary muscles that just, when put together, can make you just an even stronger runner. Cycling can also aid in recovery. It does this by increasing blood flow to your quads, calves, glutes, and hamstrings. And this way it helps flush out lactic acid that's built up and helps your muscles repair quicker and better. The motion of cycling also kind of helps prevent stiffness and soreness by kind of just moving your body, again, without the impact, but getting your body moving. I find it gets worse if I just sit and do nothing. I just kind of tense up and get super stiff. But if I do a motion that kind of just gets my body, again, moving, I find that really helpful. Another perk of the bike is that it allows you to exercise while being injured. Of course, definitely talk to your doctor to make sure that by cycling you won't aggravate the injury and make it worse. But this way, if you have some sort of, again, injury on your legs, you can cycle because it's low impact, so that's pretty awesome. I think it's really important though when you're in your peak training cycle of running that you kind of reduce the amount that you're cycling, because if you're doing these big long rides and also doing these big workouts while running, just a lot of stress on your body, like physically, and just doesn't give your body the chance to recover, and I think it would increase your risk of injury by a lot. So in peak weeks of your training cycle for running, it probably might be a good idea to reduce how much you're cross-training, especially the bike. You have to pick what is more important, and if you're a runner, then running is obviously number one, so you just have to kind of decrease just for a little bit the cross-training of cycling or any other strength training. And then when you're kind of in the base building time, then you can increase your cycling again. So it's just for a little bit of time. When you run, you put a little bit more stress on your calves, especially if you do a more mid-foot strike. The soleus, or the deep calf muscle, is the one that you would use the most. When you cycle, the balls of your feet are put on the pedal. Therefore, the contact point of the foot is pretty similar to when you cycle and when you run. So when you pedal, your calves have to activate to help you with that motion. By activating these muscles, you're strengthening them, which can help prevent shin splints, for example, because it strengthens your tibialis anterior. As I said before, cycling, when there's an emphasis on endurance, can give you a really good aerobic workout with virtually no impact on your body. It can help prevent boredom, as I said before. It's just so exciting to have a different sport to kind of focus on and just take your mind off of running, and as running can be, it can be overwhelming sometimes, but it's just a fun way to get outside, and again, no impact. It also can help you on your recovery days, and recovery doesn't always mean just doing nothing. Sometimes you need to do active recovery. Active recovery is just that you're still doing things, but not at an intense kind of effort or all-out effort. So cycling is a great thing to do on your recovery days because, again, it gives your body moving without impact and just flushes the legs out. It not only breaks up your week, but adds a kind of different movement to your week, especially if all you do is run. It kind of breaks it up and gives your body something to adjust to. We develop our aerobic base when we're in the 60 to 75% of our maximum heart rate, and in cycling, it's quite hard to get a high heart rate, so a lot of it is at a low intensity, though you can do workouts, and maybe I'll do a video later on when I actually know how to do those workouts on a bike. But it just gives you that kind of, again, aerobic development without having to go for a run. When we perform low intensity exercises, we stimulate the blood vessels in the working muscles to dilate, increasing the blood flow. The increased blood flow helps nutrients be absorbed by your tired, sore muscles that you used and did a workout either later the day before or even the morning of. The faster we are able to get nutrients to our muscle cells, the faster they can repair themselves and we can get back out running. Especially when we're training and running a marathon, having muscular endurance is key. Especially when we get to 35 plus kilometers in a marathon, you really need that strength to help you get to the end. Cycling can help your muscle endurance without having to go to the gym. You can do different workouts again on the bike that you can do hill repeats similar to running that works your leg muscles as well and your cardiovascular system. As well, friends of mine go for these hour-long bike rides, and I feel like that's a long time to be on a bike, and you definitely have to have some sort of endurance to get through that. I've even seen, especially even professional runners, switch out their second run of their double run day to do cross-training like cycling or elliptico or some sort of low impact but still works their cardiovascular system. Not all the time though, but it's important to listen to your body, and if you just want the exercise but without the impact, then cycling is a great thing to do. And lastly, it can help improve imbalances in your leg muscles. It's really hard to cycle when you have one leg that's not as strong as the other, or you can really notice it. So that's one way you can just correct that imbalance by strengthening the weaker leg. And then when you're running, you're less prone to getting injured as your body's not compensating for an imbalance. I'm just so excited again to get into the world of cycling, and I'm always gonna be a runner, and that's gonna be number one for me. But I think it's just so fun to get all the fun clothing, like bright pink Rafa jersey, but I don't need a lot of jerseys, especially I'm not gonna cycle every day, not now at least. But even if I have a few key pieces that I love, and I'm just so excited to get out there with my friends when we're allowed to and just have this form of exercise that just helps me become a more rounded athlete. And if it can help improve my running, then even better. How about you? Do you own a road bike? If so, what's your favorite thing about cycling, and have you found it helped your recovery and your running in general? Please tell us in a comment below, I'd love to know. If there's any video topics you'd like me to cover, like about cycling or just running in general, also tell me in a comment below. As always, if you like this video, tap that thumbs up button. Happy running and cross training, and I'll see you next time.